The 4-stage dissonance cycle, map the loop. Let's map the loop so you can spot it in real time. 4 stages, and yes, they fire fast. Once you can label them, you'll cut their power in half and choose a different exit. Stage 1 is the trigger. It's usually some mix of uncertainty, stakes, or ambiguity. The task isn't fully defined, the scope got bigger, or there's visible judgment on the other end. Think unclear brief, missing data, conflicting feedback, or a fuzzy done. Your nervous system interprets ambiguity as potential threat, especially if your identity is tied to excellence. The thing most people miss here is that nothing bad has happened yet. It's just uncertainty, but your brain starts bracing. Stage 2 is the dissonance spike. Inside your head, 2 thoughts collide. I must excel versus I might fail, freeze, or be exposed. That clash is the discomfort. It's not laziness, it's cognitive dissonance. The spike feels like urgency, restlessness, or a sudden need to do anything else. If your hard worker identity is rigid, the spike hits harder because less than perfect feels like a threat to who you are, not just what you do. Now here's where most people mess up. They try to argue with the feeling, but the spike is faster than logic, which takes us to stage 3, fast relief. Your brain scans for the quickest exit. 3 favorites show up: distraction, perfectionism, and overplanning. Distraction can look productive: inbox, calendars, settings. Perfectionism masquerades as quality: one more pass. And overplanning feels smart: let me design a better system. All 3 reduce tension now without committing to the exposed action. They're easy because they're safe. Stage 4 is shame plus identity protect. After the relief, time slipped. You didn't move the real work. Shame bubbles up. To protect your self-image, you promise harsher rules: earlier alarm, longer block, 0 breaks, new tool. That promise feels like progress, but it's theater. It raises tomorrow's stakes, which makes triggers bigger, which makes the next spike worse. Each loop tightens the identity trap: more rules, less safety, weaker follow-through. Quick checkpoint summary so it sticks. Stage 1, trigger uncertainty. Stage 2, spike identity clash. Stage 3, fast relief, avoidance in disguise. Stage 4, shame, harder rules to protect image. Repeat. Every pass teaches your brain that avoidance ends discomfort, so it becomes the default. Now let me show you how this plays out on a common task. You need to send a proposal update. Trigger. The client's priorities shifted, your outline isn't right anymore. Spike. I deliver top quality meets, I'm not sure what they want. Fast relief. You open Slack, tidy folders, tweak your Notion dashboard, skim 3 articles for context. 10 minutes later, the pressure drops a notch. Then shame. Why do I keep doing this? Identity protect. Tonight I'll stay late and nail it. Tomorrow, the trigger returns bigger because now there's time pressure. Same loop, tighter. The game changer nobody talks about is catching the loop at stage 1 or 2, not 4. The earlier you intervene, the less momentum the relief strategy has. 2 practical cues help. First, name the trigger in plain language. Ambiguous ask. That turns a vague threat into a label. Second, quantify the spike. Intensity 6 out of 10. Numbers shrink monsters. Once you label and score, you can choose a different relief, progress, not escape. Before we continue, you need to understand how stage 3 sneaks in. It often wears a responsible mask. I should gather more inputs can be wisdom or avoidance. The tell is whether it creates a checkable unit that moves the outcome. If not, it's relief. Another tell, time dilation. If the action expands to fill the block without producing something you can show, you're in relief, not results. Once you nail that, everything else clicks. To break the loop, you change the relief source inside stage 3. Instead of numbing, distracting, or preemptively failing, you run a minimum viable effort that's so small it doesn't trigger defense, and so concrete it yields instant evidence. 2 to 5 minutes, finishable, visible. That way, stage 2's dissonance gets resolved by alignment, not excuses. Don't do what I did the first time and try to fix stage 4 with harsher rules. That only hardens the identity cage. You want softer identity, clearer units, and earlier intervention. A micro story: a designer kept improving mock-ups and missing handoff. We mapped his trigger, unclear acceptance criteria. Spike hit 9 out of 10. Fast relief, new typography packs, color audits. We inserted a 2-minute MVE at stage 2. Write 3 acceptance bullets and paste them atop the file. Dissonance dropped. He shipped on time twice. If you remember nothing else here, remember this: loops teach. Every cycle either teaches avoidance or action. Your job is to make action the fastest relief you know. In the next section, we'll name the 3 sabotage strategies inside stage 3 so you can spot them in seconds and swap them for tiny, evidence-producing moves. The big 3 sabotage strategies: numbing, distraction, preemptive failure. Now the 3 moves that quietly run stage 3. Once you can name them on site, you'll cut their power by half and swap them for tiny, evidence-producing actions. First, numbing. Numbing's job is simple: soothe the spike. It doesn't care about the task, it cares about your nervous system. Think scrolling, snacks, streaming, random tidying, micro-errands. Let me just check one thing. You're not choosing laziness, you're choosing relief chemistry, dopamine, novelty, predictability. The reason numbing is sticky is that it's fast and low risk. No exposure, no judgment. The spike drops a notch and your brain logs the lesson: this works. The catch? The aftertaste is heavier. Shame rises, stakes rise, and next time the trigger feels bigger. Research on procrastination as emotion regulation supports this pattern. Short-term mood repair often wins over long-term goals. How do you counter numbing? See it, name it, shrink it. Literally say, numbing urge. Then run a minimum viable effort before you soothe. 2 minutes. Specific, finishable. Example, if you're about to open Instagram, pause and write a 50-word stub for the draft, save, and then set a 2-minute timer for a quick scroll. Flip the order, proof first, then permission. You'll feel the spike drop from progress, not escape. Common mistakes here: banning all soothing, which backfires, or pretending numbing is breaks. Breaks restore, numbing avoids. A quick tell: a real break has a start and end, and you return to a visible next step. Numbing has no end and no evidence on return. Second, distraction, productive avoidance. This one is sneaky because it wears a responsible mask. It's organization, planning, research rabbit holes, tool tinkering, calendar sculpting, template polishing. It feels smart and often looks impressive, but it avoids exposed action. The thing most people miss is the unit test. Did this produce a checkable unit that moves the outcome? If not, it's relief theater. Why distraction dominates? It preserves your hard worker identity. You get to say, I was busy, while avoiding the one step that risks judgment. It resolves dissonance by protecting image. And because it's socially rewarded, clean dashboards, beautiful plans, your brain gets extra pats on the back. That double reward cements the loop and mirrors findings that socially validated busy work can reinforce avoidant coping. To break distraction, you downgrade planning to support, not substitute. Run this rule: plan until the first unit is defined, then stop planning and produce that unit. 2 minutes max to map, then ship a fragment. Example, instead of reworking the whole roadmap, draft the first 3 bullets you'll send the client. Instead of reorganizing notes, write 1 paragraph you'll paste into the deliverable. If you can't show it, it doesn't count. Quick counter script. This looks like work. Is it producing a unit? If not, pivot to the smallest visible unit and complete it. Then, if you still want to organize, fine, but only after proof. You're retraining the brain to prefer completion over curation. Third, preemptive failure. This is perfectionistic delay, moving deadlines, or quitting early to do it right later. It sounds noble, quality matters, but the function is to avoid the moment of exposure. Preemptive failure also shows up as scope creep, making the job bigger than your available time so you can rationalize a miss. It's protection dressed as standards. Why it reduces tension instantly. As soon as you push the deadline or inflate the scope, the threat of being seen imperfectly drops. You get relief and a righteous story, but you've just taught your brain that safety lives in delay. Next time, the spike arrives earlier. The counter is shrink to ship. You reduce the scope until it fits the time you actually have, then you ship a smaller version today and schedule a follow-up fix. Use the 2-version rule: version A now, version B next week. Example, instead of perfecting the deck, ship 3 core slides and schedule a polish session. You get exposure in a controlled way, which updates identity. You're someone who delivers usable value fast. Here's a quick micro story. A marketer kept needing more examples before sending a draft. That was preemptive failure. We installed a 2-unit cap, 2 examples per draft, period. If stakeholders wanted more, they'd ask. The result? Faster shipping, better feedback, and her spike dropped because the rule made exposure predictable. Let's bundle the counters into a 30-second scanner you can run anytime the spike hits. Name the strategy: numbing, distraction, or preemptive failure. Say what it promises: soothe, look busy, avoid exposure. Pick one MVE that produces a checkable unit in 2 minutes. Do it and mark it visibly: a checkmark, saved file, timestamp note. Optional, give yourself a tiny reward after, not before. Now the common pitfalls: mislabeling numbing as research. If it doesn't produce a unit, it's not research. Upgrading tools mid-task, classic distraction. Tell yourself, same tools until this unit ships. With preemptive failure, watch for language like "I'll do it when." If the condition is vague, you're delaying. Replace it with a time-boxed, smaller deliverable you can ship today. If you remember nothing else, remember this: each strategy isn't evil, it's just a fast relief valve. Your job is to beat it on speed. Make the smallest real action faster than the fake ones. Train your brain that completion is the quickest way out of discomfort. Once progress is the fastest relief you know, the loop starts resolving in your favor. Rewire Step 1, Minimum Viable Effort, MVE, to flip the identity. MVE is the tiny action that resolves dissonance by producing proof, not pressure. Why this works? When the step is small, specific, and finishable, it slips under your brain's defenses. You get relief from progress, not avoidance. That relief rewires the loop. And with repetition, your identity updates. I'm someone who produces useful units, even when I don't feel ready. So what counts as MVE? Think 2 to 5 minutes, specific, observable, and finishable. Not work on the report, but draft the 50-word problem statement. Not organize research, but paste 3 quotes into the doc. Not prepare deck, but write the slide titles. If you can point to it, count it. If it's invisible, thinking, hunting, rearranging, it doesn't. Here's the shortcut nobody teaches. Pick the smallest proof of identity move that advances the outcome. Ask, what's the tiny version of the real work? If the project is a proposal, the tiny version might be a 3-bullet outline. If it's code, it could be a failing test stub. If it's outreach, it's a drafted subject line. The point isn't to finish the task, it's to finish a fragment that proves movement. Once you nail that, everything else clicks. MVE turns a scary, exposed action into a low-threat, high-signal win. It shrinks the dragon and gives you a receipt. Receipts matter because your brain updates beliefs from evidence. Stack enough visible fragments, and I avoid becomes I produce small units reliably, which is the identity that finishes. Let me show you exactly how to choose one in under 30 seconds. Step 1, name the deliverable in plain language: proposal, deck, email, script, dataset. Step 2, define a checkable unit: 1 paragraph, 1 slide title list, 1 SQL query, 1 test, 1 email draft. Step 3, choose the absolute smallest slice that moves the deliverable forward and can be finished in under 5 minutes. That's your MVE. Now you might be thinking, won't tiny steps slow me down? Actually, microwins compound. Finishing a fragment lowers dissonance, unlocks momentum, and makes the next fragment easier to start. Many days, the 2-minute move spills into 10 or 20 because the threat dropped. But even when it doesn't, you still bank a receipt. Consistency beats drama. A quick micro story. A product lead hated PRDs. The trigger was the empty document. We switched his starting ritual to paste the user problem, paste 3 acceptance bullets, save with date. 2 minutes. He did it before checking Slack. 3 days in, he noticed he was adding screenshots without forcing it. The identity shifted from I procrastinate PRDs to I always open a PRD with 3 bullets. Same person, lower friction, better output. Common mistakes to avoid. First, choosing steps that are too big, write the first 3 pages. That spikes defense. Shrink it to write the first 50 words. Second, picking vague actions, brainstorm ideas. Make it concrete, list 5 headlines. Third, counting invisible wins, reading, planning, formatting, without producing a unit. If it doesn't leave a mark in the deliverable, it's setup, not proof. Another trap is waiting for the perfect MVE. Don't overthink it. Any small, visible slice of the real work counts. If you're unsure, default to these universal MVEs. Name the file and write the title. Write the opening 1-2 sentences. List 3 bullets you'll include. Paste the problem statement at the top. Insert placeholders: intro, example, CTA. Placeholders reduce perfection pressure while making progress tangible. Hear how to deploy MVE in the exact moment the spike hits. You feel the urge to escape. Label it, spike. Breathe once. Ask, what's my 2-minute unit? Say it out loud. Start a timer. Complete the unit. Then mark it visibly, a check mark, a time-stamped line at the top of the doc, or a V1 saved note. Visibility accelerates identity because your brain trusts what it can see. Let me give you a few domain-specific examples for immediate use. Writing, create a 50-word intro, then bold your 3 subheads. Design, drop the content blocks with dummy text, ignore polish. Engineering, write a failing test name and commit as test scaffold. Sales, draft the subject line and first sentence, save as a template. Research, paste 3 citations under a source's header in the draft. Now here's where most people mess up, changing 10 things at once. New tools, new routines, new metrics. That overloads your system and triggers avoidance. Keep the variables stable and only add MVE. Same tools, same environment, just front-load a tiny unit before inputs. Stability makes the new behavior stick. A quick win you can do today: before you open messages, produce 1 2-minute unit for your most important deliverable. Then open messages. That ordering shift alone flips your identity signal. You start the day as a producer, not a reactor. Do it 3 days in a row and notice how the afternoon guilt fades because you already banked proof. One more micro story. A lawyer dreaded brief writing and hid in research. We set a rule: every work block starts with paste the case name, write the thesis sentence, save. 2 minutes. Within a week, she reported fewer 11 p.m. scrambles and less rest guilt because her brain had new receipts. She always starts with proof. If you remember nothing else from MVE, remember this: make progress the fastest relief you know. Small, specific, finishable, and visible. That's how you flip the loop and start upgrading your identity without a fight. Next, we'll stabilize the emotions that trigger the loop with a 60-second inventory you can run anytime. Rewire Step 2, the 60-second emotional inventory. MVE gets you moving, but if the emotional spike stays high, your brain will keep hunting exits. This is where the 60-second emotional inventory stabilizes the system. The goal isn't therapy, it's clarity fast. When you can name what you feel, where you feel it, and how strong it is, the intensity drops and action stays doable. Why this matters: procrastination is often mood repair, not time management. If you don't address the feeling, you'll default to relief strategies. Naming emotion reduces its grip. You're turning a fog into a label, and labels are easier to work with. Once the signal is clear, MVE becomes the easiest exit. Here's the simple structure. It takes 1 minute total. Label the emotion in plain words: fear, uncertainty, shame, overwhelm, anger, boredom. Locate it in the body: chest tightness, jaw clench, stomach drop, shoulders up. Score intensity 110. Write a single because, therefore, line to link trigger to feeling. Take 1 regulating breath while keeping the next action tiny. Let me show you exactly how. Grab a sticky note or the top of your doc and write. Emotion, anxious. Body, chest tight, buzzing hands. Score 710. Because, therefore. Because the client is unclear, therefore I'm afraid I'll look unprepared. Breath, in 4, hold 2, out 6 once. That's it, no journaling spiral. No analyzing your childhood. You're reducing noise so behavior can lead belief again. The reason this works: emotions are data, not commands. When you move them from background to foreground, they stop driving the bus. Now here's where most people mess up. They overanalyze. They hunt the perfect label. They turn 1 minute into 20 and call it processing. That's another avoidance strategy. Keep it mechanical. If you're unsure, pick a broad label, uneasy, and move on. The point is to lower the spike just enough to make the MVE doable. Let me tie this to the because, therefore sentence. This is the bridge between trigger and response. It builds a causal link your brain can understand. Because the scope changed, therefore I fear rework. Because this is public, therefore I fear judgment. Once you see the link, you can shrink the exposed part with a tiny, reversible action. That's the pivot back to progress. A quick micro story. A PM told me, I freeze before stand-ups. We ran the inventory: emotion nervous, body stomach, score 6. Because my blocker sounds vague, therefore I'm afraid I'll look incompetent. We paired it with a 90-second MVE, draft 1 clear blocker sentence. breath once. Intensity dropped to 3. She shared the sentence, got help, and the freeze faded after a week because her brain learned. Clarity plus tiny action ends the spike. Let me give you the 1 breath pattern. Inhale through the nose for 4, hold for 2, exhale through the mouth for 6. Longer exhales nudge your system toward calm. Don't chase Zen, chase a little less tense. If you prefer box breathing 4-4-4-4, fine. The breath is just a wedge to keep your window of tolerance open while you act. Here's the 60-second cadence in real time. Notice urge to escape, say spike. Write the 3 labels, emotion, body, score, 5 seconds. Write because therefore, 1 sentence, 10 seconds. 1 slow breath, 10 seconds. Run a 2-minute MVE tied to the trigger, 30 seconds to start. You just turned an amorphous dread into a named signal and paired it with action. That's emotional regulation for doers. Common mistakes to avoid. Skipping the score. Numbers create distance and track progress over days. Choosing abstract body maps like headspace, be concrete, jaw tight. Using moral language, I'm weak, I should be better, that spikes shame. Waiting to feel ready. The inventory is not a readiness ritual, it's a stabilizer. Let me give you domain scripts. Writing, emotion, dread, body, shoulders up. 6-10, because the intro sets the tone, therefore I'm afraid it'll sound dumb. Breath, MVE, write a placeholder intro with 3 blunt sentences. Design, emotion, exposed, body, neck heat. 7-10, because the client likes safe, therefore I fear they'll reject bold. Breath, MVE, duplicate artboard and ship the safe version now, bold version later. Engineering, emotion, stuck, body, brow tension. 5-10, because I don't know the API, therefore I fear wasting time. Breath, MVE, write a failing test name, copy 1 example from docs. If you're thinking, won't this slow me down? Actually, it speeds you up by preventing spirals. 1 minute here avoids 30 minutes of numbing or tinkering. And you get receipts. Your score usually drops 3 points after the breath and MVE. That's measurable progress your brain can trust. Quick template to keep handy. A, B, S. Because therefore. Breath 4-2-6. MVE, 2-minute unit is. If you remember nothing else, remember this. Clarity beats shame. Name it, score it, link it, breathe once, do a tiny unit. With emotion grounded, action can lead belief. Next, we'll lock this in with identity proof loops so your behavior updates who you think you are. Rewire step 3. Action precedes belief, identity proof loops.